Today I'm building a steampunk clockwork insect, a sort of a cross between a dragonfly and a beetle. For the body of the insect I'm using this child's clockwork toy. I've bent the legs around to form wings. When you wind it up, this simply vibrates, shaking the wings. For the insect's abdomen I'm going to use these pipe connectors from a plumbing supply store. On either end I've got an end cap which is used for sealing off 15mm copper pipe. These will then connect to the straight connectors all the way through to the other end cap, giving me a ribbed abdomen. Before I glue these together, I'm going to use a brass bolt to connect this to the body. So I'm going to drill a hole in the first end cap and thread the bolt through. You can choose to either glue or solder this together. Obviously if you're soldering this you need to be experienced and you need to have the correct safety equipment. I've just drilled a hole through the end cap and threaded the brass bolt through. For the head I'm using two 15mm end stops with a small piece of 15mm pipe between. I need to attach the insect's head to the body. For this I'm going to use some copper pipe clips. So I've bent one at right angles and drilled a hole in the peak. This I'm going to bolt around the body of the insect. This will allow me to attach the head to the body. I also want to add two wing cases at a later date, so I'm going to use two further pipe clips and also bolt these in at this point in front of the clip around the body. For the wing cases I've got these oval pieces of domed copper which actually have a pattern imprinted on the surface. These were done in a metal press. I'm going to attach these to the pipe clips, and then when these bolt to the main body they'll act as wing cases. I've soldered the wing cases to the pipe clips. You could choose to glue these rather than solder them. I've got two more of these pipe clips. One that I've straightened out and put a little bit of a curve in the end, and the second which I've wrapped around in a complete circle coming back on itself. This is wrapped around the head, so it allows me to attach the head to the body by putting one that goes completely around the head and then the second one which clips in, leaving a long tab at the end which I can connect to the body. I've attached the head to the pipe clips, leaving me a long tab at the back. I'm now going to bolt this to the right angled pipe clip which will allow me to then attach it to the body. I've got a brass right angled bracket used for picture hanging which I'm going to bolt to the front of both of the wing cases. I've bolted the brass right angled bracket to the wing cases. I'm now going to feed the head through the gap in between, and then where the three holes join I'm going to bolt them together. So I've slid a bolt through. I'm now going to take the copper right angle bracket that I made by bending a pipe clip, attach this to the three front pieces and bolt them all together. So I've bolted the right angle bracket to the front pieces. This can now clip on to the body of the insect. So I've threaded a bolt through the two holes at the bottom of the clip and bolted this in place, and this is holding the head and the wings to the body of the insect. I'm going to bolt the second angle bracket to the first one, which will give me two connection points at the bottom here to bring a section along to the back to attach both the abdomen and the legs. I need to extend the undercarriage to the back of the insect, so I'm going to bolt these two sawtooth style picture fixings to the right angle bracket which will go to the back of the insect. But first I need to drill out the holes slightly to make them a little bit bigger. I've bolted a second angle bracket to the back end of the insect using two long bolts. This means that I can actually add a piece of metal over the top of these bolts to hold it in place, which will brace the main body. At the end of the angle bracket there's a hole. This will allow me to attach the abdomen. I've bent the piece of brass over and bolted it in place, and this has allowed me to bolt the abdomen through the angle bracket at the end and through the piece of brass here to keep it stable. For the legs I've used brass rods which I bought from a model shop. I've simply bent these and glued them to the underside of the insect. For the antennae I've used a very thin piece of brass rod which again I've just glued to the head. For the eyes I'm going to use these shimmer dome stickers. These are already faceted so they'll look like insect eyes. You may be able to find something similar if you can't find the exact same product. I've just stuck these onto the head. For the wings I'm going to use these skeleton leaves which I bought from a craft shop. These simply have had the flesh removed, leaving just the veins behind. I've simply glued the skeleton leaves along the wire pieces that are sticking out from the clockwork mechanism. And here's the completed piece. So the clockwork mechanism causes vibration in the insect, which gives it a small amount of movement, which will work quite well when we use it for filming.